Imagine for a moment that deep within you resides a primal energy, as ancient as the first breath of the universe and as powerful as the act of creation itself. A force that needs no external temples or rituals to be worshipped because it already lives within you. A divine spark that can shape your reality, attract everything you sincerely desire, and transform simple thoughts into tangible manifestations. This energy is not a myth. It is real and is called sexual alchemy. From forgotten civilizations to hermetic schools of wisdom, the great initiates knew this energy as the secret engine of life, the essence that shapes all that exists. For them, sexual power was not a meaningless carnal act, but a sublime manifestation of vital energy, a sacred current that could elevate man beyond his earthly limitations. However, this knowledge was not passed on lightly. For centuries, it was guarded and passed only from master to student, using veiled words and encrypted symbols. Those who master this art attain not only subtle pleasures, but also a state of inner clarity, expanded consciousness, and harmony with the universe. And today, as if time had closed, this knowledge resurfaces in the hearts of those ready to remember. Not as a fad, but as a deep calling of the soul. Perhaps you hear these words because you, too, feel this calling. In this video, I guide you through the hidden paths of sexual alchemy. You'll understand where this knowledge comes from, what its spiritual purpose is, and how you can activate and direct this energy to unlock your full potential. These aren't just ideas. We'll discuss practical exercises, vivid symbols, and how to harmonize your inner opposites so this energy can rise through your subtle channel and awaken your dormant consciousness. You'll immerse yourself in a wisdom that can transform not only your understanding of your body and your desires, but also the way you manifest your reality. For when you consciously honor this power, everything within you begins to connect with your highest essence. From the sacred sands of Egypt to the secret valleys of the Himalayas to the hidden chambers of medieval alchemists, there is an invisible thread that connects civilizations that sought beyond matter. A knowledge passed on in whispers, codified in symbols, and preserved by those who understood that the human body is not just flesh, but a temple capable of channeling the creative power of the universe. In the land of the Nile, the ancient Egyptians spoke of the Ka, a spiritual spark that enlivened the physical body and could be enhanced through sacred practices. In the rituals of the temples of Isis and Osiris, it was taught that the energy generated by intimate union, properly directed, could nourish the soul and ignite hidden abilities. It was not merely a physical act, but a gateway to the divine. The symbolic union of male and female represented far more than just a loving bond. It was the awakening of inner duality and the integration of the sacred polarities inherent in every being. On the other side of the world, in the ancient wisdom of Hindu Tantra, this same energy was called Shakti, the primordial feminine power. Through conscious practices like Maituna, initiates sought not superficial pleasure, but spiritual expansion. Through the union of Shakti with Shiva, pure consciousness, states of ego dissolution, and union with the whole were achieved. The chakras became stations of ascension for sexual energy, becoming more refined with each step until they reached the crown, where the soul remembered its stellar origin. In China, the sages of the Tao explored the same power in a different language. In Qi, the vital sexual essence, was considered a treasure to be cultivated and transformed through inner alchemy. Practices such as sexual qigong made it possible to preserve and transform this energy and channel it through the microcosmic circulation to revitalize the organs, prolong life, and attune to the universal flow of the Tao. It wasn't about suppression, but about conscious sublimation. The body as a conduit of heavenly energy. Even in medieval Europe, alchemists, surrounded by symbols and metaphors, spoke of the sacred union of sun and moon, sulfur and mercury, king and queen. External alchemy was merely a reflection of inner work, with true gold not being metal, but awakened consciousness. The philosopher's stone was the unified soul, the being who had integrated its inner powers and could now shape its reality from a heightened state of being. All these paths, although separated by cultures, languages, and beliefs, share a deep intuition. Sexual energy is the raw material of spiritual development. It is not something to be feared or suppressed, but rather a tool for conscious creation, connection with the divine, and self-realization. However, this knowledge was jealously guarded. Not everyone was willing to exercise this power. For this reason, only initiates, those who demonstrated purity, willpower, and balance, had access to these mysteries. And over the centuries, these teachings were hidden, distorted, or lost until now. Today, the veil is beginning to lift. Those who feel the call to their true nature are rediscovering this ancient path and realizing that an ancient flame dwells within their body. And by learning to ignite it, they also learn to illuminate the path of their soul. Imagine that beneath the surface of your everyday life flows a secret current, an ancient energy whispering from the depths of your being. This force is none other than your sexual energy, understood not from the modern, superficial perspective of physical impulses, but rather as a cosmic source, a primordial spark that carries the code of creation itself. What the ancient mystical schools knew as inner fire is barely recognizable today. Yet it continues to pulse, waiting to be consciously channeled toward its highest goal, transmutation. Sexual alchemy is not a game or just another technique, but a sacred path to transforming this raw power into spiritual strength. It's like transforming an ordinary metal into gold through internal processes. And gold, in this case, represents a life lived from the center, with meaning, magnetism, and clarity. The first principle we must accept is that this energy is not merely biological in nature. It is the concentrated expression of our life force. It is energy in its densest and most malleable state. If we don't unconsciously waste it, it is stored in our organs, strengthens our nervous system, sharpens our senses, and surrounds us with a vibration so powerful that others perceive it as charisma, attraction, or spiritual authority. And this is where the second major principle arises. Energy follows attention. Wherever you direct your focus, your energy flows. When, in moments of longing or excitement, you direct this force not outward but upward, from the roots of the body to the heart or even to the pineal gland at the top of the skull, you redirect a powerful flow into the fertile lands of consciousness. This technique has been revered in many cultures. In China, it was called the ascension of the inner elixir. In India, it was called the awakening of the Kundalini serpent. In the West, it was the sublimation of serpent fire. Visualize a flame. If it spreads, it burns quickly, but if you contain it, nourish it with air and direction, it can forge metals, ignite houses, or move entire buildings. This is how your sexual energy works. As it overflows, it dissolves, is channeled, and transforms into fuel for your goals, clarity for your mind, and expansion for your soul. The third pillar of this practice is the balance of the inner poles. Two universal forces live within you, male and female, solar and lunar. Regardless of your biological sex, these energies exist in every human being. When these inner opposites are in harmony, when your active power unites with your receptive wisdom, something magical happens. A closed circuit is created that not only nourishes your energy field but also expands it toward higher frequencies. The dance of yin and yang then becomes an upward spiral that leads you to higher levels of perception and creation. And all of this is connected to a simple yet transcendental instrument: breathing. Conscious breathing is like opening a door between the physical and the subtle world. Each deep inhalation is an act of invocation. Each exhalation is an offering of energy. By directing your breath in moments of energy accumulation, you can allow that energy to flow through the inner meridians, raising your frequency and connecting you to higher levels of wisdom and inner power. This is true alchemy. Sexual intercourse is not repression or self-indulgence, but transformation. It's an opportunity to honor your creative nature and consciously choose what you do with it. As you begin to master this art, you'll discover that this seemingly simple physical need is actually a sacred tool for shaping your destiny, realizing your dreams, and reconnecting with your divine essence. In the hidden sanctuaries of ancient knowledge, where the echoes of silence held the most powerful secrets of the human mind, it was taught that sexual energy was not just a life force, but a magical tool with the ability to change the fabric of reality. Those who understood this art not only lived more fulfilling lives, but also became conscious creators of their own destiny. One of the deepest pillars of this teaching is the connection between desire and intention. Ancient wisdom schools taught that whenever an intention comes from the heart and is aligned with sexual energy, the body's most powerful impulse, a kind of intensified energetic charge, is created. That is, it's not enough to simply desire something mentally. When emotional desire is combined with transmuted sexual fire and directed purposefully, a nearly irresistible creative force emerges. This is the basis of what some traditions call sex magic, while others, more modern, call it conscious energetic manifestation. However, for this energy to function as an instrument of higher creation, one step must be essential: the refinement of desire. Unrefined impulses act like disordered, chaotic forces that tend to disintegrate or even produce results that contradict expectations. Therefore, the ancient sages taught us to elevate desire to its purest form. This doesn't mean suppressing it, but rather transforming it and allowing it to vibrate to the rhythm of the soul rather than following the needs of the ego. Only then does desire cease to be a pursuit of pleasure and become a compass for personal and spiritual development. Another fundamental component of this process is emotional alchemy. Sexual energy doesn't operate in isolation. It's closely interwoven with our emotions. Every experience of passion, jealousy, tenderness, anger, or ecstasy contains this underlying energy. Sexual alchemy proposes harnessing this emotional material and using it as fuel for awakening, rather than suppressing it or allowing it to drag us down. When we experience an intense emotion while maintaining clear awareness and heightened intention, we literally transform lead into emotional gold. We raise our inner vibration and transform our human passions into nourishment for the soul. One particular practice that illustrates this principle is the alchemical meditation of inner transmutation, which is deeply rooted in the Taoist tradition. There, we learn how to consciously circulate sexual energy through the internal organs and, with the help of breathing and visualization, transform deep emotions like fear or sadness into luminous virtues like peace, courage, or love. It's not just about healing the body. It's about purifying the soul, opening the heart, and refining perception until we are in alignment with the all-encompassing divine source. But this path is neither quick nor can it be taken lightly. Just as a plant needs time to germinate, grow, and bear fruit, energetic transmutation also requires patience, perseverance, and respect. Therefore, all teachings of sexual alchemy were accompanied by parallel disciplines: daily meditation to center the mind, energetic nourishment to sustain the body, self-observation to avoid falling into old patterns, and spiritual connection to stay on track. After this process, not only does the practitioner's health, vitality, and natural attraction improve, but something deeper also emerges: a harmonious connection between their inner self and the universe around them. Synchronicities increase, manifestations become more precise, and their entire life begins to flow in a way that previously seemed impossible. And here, sexual alchemy reveals its highest purpose, not as a method for attaining greater power, but as a way to remember who one truly is: a creative soul, a bridge between heaven and earth, using the fire of life not to consume itself, but to illuminate the path to supreme fulfillment. The knowledge of sexual alchemy, though shrouded in symbolism and passed down through civilizations with a hidden language, was not created to remain in manuscripts or rituals removed from life. Its greatest purpose is to integrate and take root in your everyday life, transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary and every moment into a conscious act of creative power. Because a true magician needs neither cloak nor temple, but only alert attention and a focused will. Here, I share 4 essential pillars for manifesting this ancient wisdom in your everyday life and becoming a modern alchemist of your own life energy. First, consider your body a place of refuge. The first step is to return to the body not as a machine but as a sacred vessel. Think about it. How often are you in 1,000 different places on your body? Every morning or at the end of the day, close your eyes and focus your attention on your lower abdomen, just a few centimeters below your navel. In many cultures, this point is referred to as the crucible where primal energy rests. When you breathe gently into this area, you'll feel the energy calming, building, and no longer flowing through stress and distraction. Simply being here is a form of silent alchemy. Second, breathing is a channel of transmutation. If energy is fire, breathing is wind, and with it you can fan or direct that fire. As you inhale, imagine gathering sexual energy from your pelvic floor. As you exhale, direct it upward in a spiral toward your heart or crown. This simple gesture, repeated throughout the day, transforms desire into devotion, instinct into inspiration. Your conscious breathing is the instrument with which you shape your own energetic frequency. Third, an intention with emotion, the golden triad. Whenever you feel that inner glow, be it physical longing, a moment of creativity, or an intense emotion, pause and don't let it escape. In that moment, clearly visualize something you long for. Could be a goal, a healing, a new beginning. Then charge that desire with high vibrational emotions. Gratitude, love, joy. It is this blend of heightened sexual energy, focused intention, and luminous emotions that the ancients called true magic. This is how you shape reality from within. Fourth, preserve without suppressing, flow without spilling. A common misconception is that you must deny sexual energy to increase it. The key, however, is not to extinguish the flame, but to keep it burning without consuming the entire temple. This includes cultivating practices that maintain inner flow without waste, from meditation and energetic self-massage to silence and nature contemplation. This not only prevents energy loss due to excessive or compulsive energy, but also strengthens the entire physical and spiritual system by allowing this energy to refine and nourish all levels of consciousness. Integrating these keys into your life doesn't require drastic changes or complex rituals. What it does require is commitment, consistency, and a new perspective on yourself. Because every time you choose to act with presence, breathe consciously, and direct your energy with love, you forge the philosopher's stone within yourself. You remember that the body is not a barrier to the divine, but the perfect channel for its expression. In this alignment between what you feel, what you think, and what you do, alchemy becomes reality. Here, sexual energy, no longer as instinct but as consciousness, becomes the bridge between the human and the sacred. You have reached the end of one journey, but also the threshold to a much deeper one. Together, we explored the depths of an ancient teaching, guarded like a hidden jewel for centuries: sexual alchemy. This practice is not just a simple sequence of techniques or a ritual of transformed pleasure. It is a sacred art, a secret language through which the soul speaks to the body and the body responds to the divine. On this journey, we have uncovered a truth that beats at the core of every human being. Sexual energy, when understood, respected, and wisely directed, becomes an ascending current of creative power. It is the primal spark of the universe, residing within you, waiting to be ignited with awareness, intention, and love. True transformation begins when we stop seeking power outside and claim it within ourselves, when we transform instinct into art, desire into direction, and impulse into purpose. Every deep breath, every heightened emotion, every moment of presence is a building block in the temple of your energetic sovereignty. Alchemy doesn't happen in an external laboratory, but in the invisible crucible of your own unified body, mind, and soul. By practicing this art, you'll feel your relationships refine, your thoughts harmonize, and your energy fields strengthen. You'll no longer be swept away by external influences and will steer your own ship through the ocean of life. You no longer react, create, or desire out of lack. You manifest from within. Esoteric texts say that those who master their inner fire become living suns, able to illuminate their world and that of others. This light is within you, and since you know the path, you can nurture it. If this message has touched you deeply, I invite you to share it. Subscribe to this channel and share this content with the hearts whose creative power you wish to awaken. May this network of wisdom spread like a flame that ignites other flames. The journey doesn't end here. In the coming videos, we will continue to explore the lost keys to inner knowledge, forgotten practices, hidden truths, and techniques that empower your soul. For every teaching is a bridge, and every bridge brings you closer to the truth of who you are. Keep going, keep breathing, keep remembering. Alchemy is not a goal, but a state of consciousness. May your light shine, your energy be refined, and you become more of a master of your own creation every day.